Everyone, welcome back to another video, and you saw the title or even the thumbnail. We are looking at another vintage, basically cost by Apple, another vintage Apple product, which yes, is the 2011 MacBook Pro, which this thing is heavy and beefy. Now, first we're gonna look at the exterior design, then we're gonna look inside, because this thing still has decent specs. And of course, back then this thing was classed as a high profile, basically product to have, but nowadays, technology has advanced so much over the past few years, and yeah. So starting first with the exterior, we do obviously have the original logo that would always glow up. Now, I miss that logo. I wish they still had it with the MacBook Pros nowadays, because it was such a staple to see a MacBook Pro being opened and then just the Apple logo glowing, which I missed, and I don't know why they even got rid of that. I guess maybe because of battery life. I guess that makes sense. But it was still such a staple for Apple back then. Now, looking at the side profile, this thing was a chunky boy. This thing is a massive laptop that was very thick. Obviously, technology has evolved so much so that we have skinnier devices. I mean, most devices out there are a lot more skinnier than this. I think that anything that's comparable to nowadays that has the same size is probably basically something like the Asus ROG Ally, or even just a gaming laptop, because of course gaming laptops sometimes are this thick, but I'm not sure if they are that heavy as well. Now, of course, this did have the very easy to spot way to open up the laptop, which had the nice little tag. And looking underneath, you did have your 4 feet were just rubber, which gave a nice comfort to basically lay on your desk or so much more. But now I'm going to put in an angle so when we open it up, you can see the Apple logo glow, which I wish they still had. Look at that. That is still pretty good. I'm actually in love with this. Now, of course, I'm going to show B-roll shots, of course, but this is the MacBook Pro from 2011. Now, of course, this one I have here is 13-inch. Back then, this laptop was sold for around about over $1,000. And nowadays, it is a bit cheaper and also has more stuff to it in terms of more power, more graphics, more processing power, and so much more. But back then, this was basically classed as a high standard or high profile product. Now, of course, we're getting to the specs now, because of course, nothing more interesting to see how old of basically the tech this thing had compared to current technology now. Now, when this laptop came out, this is obviously before Apple decided to make their own chips, but back then, this thing rocked some Intel products. So looking at the specs of this, it does of course have the Intel Core i5, which is obviously the 2.4 gigahertz switch, which back then was basically the top spec you could have back then, which, yeah, technology has advanced way more than that. Now, the memory this has is 8 gigabytes of DDR3, yes, DDR3 RAM, which I'm so shocked that this thing has that of RAM. I mean, I'm not too sure when DDR4 came out, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think this might have been the last Apple product with DDR3. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But this did have the integrated Intel HD Graphics 3000, which back then was basically pretty good to use. Now going into the display, we can also see that it's a 13.3-inch display, which is a 1280 by 800, which is pretty interesting. Now, storage-wise, I'll definitely say this storage has been upgraded by my brother. It used to be a hard disk drive, but he did upgrade it to a solid-state drive, which is about 240 gigabytes, which back then, that was the best storage you could have. But I think max was basically around about 500 gigabytes for storage, but nowadays, your laptop can basically hold 8 terabytes if you customize your MacBook Pros in the current versions we have now with the M3. Realize this thing obviously didn't have the best camera. It was 720p, and back then Apple wasn't really good at making mobile webcams for their laptops. Obviously, recent years they have advanced those cameras for the devices, but to look at this device and seeing how much we evolved with our MacBook devices with Apple, it just shows you how much technology has advanced. Because 2011 to now 2024, where we have devices that are basically as thin as paper and being able to basically run high projects and just able to compete against so much and be able to process so much information, it is so insane how much technology has evolved. But otherwise, let me know in the comments below what function you wish Apple still kept with the old MacBook Pros, with the new ones, because I'm pretty sure most people still miss the whole glowing Apple logo. But I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next video. Be safe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.